welcome to my video for March class by mail. This is one of the cards in the butterfly class. So we have a total of 4 different cards that we're creating. In this video we'll cover the, this is the arrow fold card. So I think this one's really fun. I hope you enjoy this. I think it's a really cool look. So let's see what we have in our kits. You have a piece of 4 1/4 by, no, 5 1/2 by 11 black cardstock. And I have scored everything for you on this card. I scored it because I really want to make sure that that you're going to be able to get this because I think it's so cool, and I wanted to make sure you could do it. And not everybody has a scoreboard or a tool to be able to score this, so I wanted to do that for you. But I'm also going to walk you through how we do it. Okay. Then you will have a piece of basic white cardstock for inside the card. We have these 2 triangles of designer series paper, and they do have a different design on the back, but I'm going to stick with the same for the inside as I do for the top. So you also have this triangle, and hopefully I'll get it going the right way when I put it on. And then we have 3 different ribbons. I'm excited to do that technique. The large, I think that's a monarch butterfly, and that's from, again, from the designer series paper. I die cut that for you. And then I stamped the You've Been on My Mind, and I stamped it right on a scrap of this same piece of designer series paper so it all coordinates. And I stamped that with the black Memento ink. And these words also come from the Simply Succulents set. This one right here, You've Been on My Mind. So we're using 3 of the sentiment pieces from that set, just to kind of keep it simple for everybody. The Butterfly Brilliance stamp set that we're using in this class doesn't have any sentiments, so I pulled most of them just from that one set. Okay, so let's kind of put these pieces just to the side for a minute, and we're going to work on the arrow fold card. So go ahead and fold your card in half, and then all of these other score lines are the front of your card, the top front of your card. And basically, to do this, it really is not difficult. You just need a ruler, and then you'll need to be able to score it. So what you do is you measure halfway along this part of the card, this very front flap of the card. And because this card is 5 1/2 by 4 1/4, halfway is 2 3/4. Okay, so half of 5 1/2 is 2 3/4. So at the 2 3/4 mark, you'd make a 2 3/4 spot. You'd make a little mark with your pencil, and then you do the same thing on the sides. On each side, you just measure it halfway. So this is 4 1/4, so halfway is 2 1/8. Okay, so 2 1/8 on the sides, 2 3/4 on the front. And then all you do is you want to score from this to there, and also from here to the top corner of the front. Okay, so let me show you that this way. Okay, so you've got these 3 markings, and you score from this one to this one, and from this one to this top corner of the card. Same thing over here, from here to here and here to here. All right, so those are your score lines that I already have on your card, but just so you know how to do this and you could do it again. So now let's go ahead and fold this together. You want to start with the long fold, okay, and you're folding it in. So on that long fold, now get something that you can use to burnish this. You can use a bone folder. You can even use the edge of an acrylic block. You could use a credit card, something like that, to give that a good burnish, okay? And then for this smaller flap, it's going to fold out. And again, burnish that, okay? Same thing on this side. Let's put the long, do the long fold first and burnish it. And then the smaller flap coming out and burnish it. And then what you have for the front of your card is this really cool arrow fold. All right, so that's really it. And we're gonna go ahead and put some adhesive on just to keep everything down. So put some adhesive on here. Fold that down like so. Same here. And then you want a little bit of adhesive right in here. Just there, just enough to just hold that piece out. So same thing right here. We're just going to put a little bit of adhesive right there to hold that flap out. And there is your arrow fold card. So that's kind of cool. I really like this. Okay, so now we're going to decorate because it's a black card, so we need to get some color on it. And we're going to start with the basic white piece, which is just for the inside of your card. And this is going to allow you to have a place to write on it. And so you're just going to center this. On the inside of your card. Okay, so remember, this is how it's going to fold down, and this is the inside, so we're putting that white piece on the inside. Then you're going to take your two smaller, these are right angle triangles, and these are going to go in here. Now, if you want this pattern, you'd flip it this way, okay? But I'm going to stick with this, the yellow and orange, which is the same that's going on the top of the card. So you're just going to line this up right along the white. So butt it right up against that white. Okay? So you're not going to see any white there. Got a little bit of glue popping out. Get rid of that. And do the same with this one. And again, line it right up along the edge of the white. So we're not going to have any white showing except for when you open up the card. Okay, so I didn't get any adhesive. I'm going to just pull up my liquid glue and just tuck a little bit of adhesive in there, just so this piece will stay down. Hold that and see if the other one could probably use a little bit too. Those little pointy pieces, you kind of want to make sure you do get them down, because those are the things that can kind of catch on stuff. Okay. So that's now the inside of the card done. And now we're going to add this triangle to the top of the card. And basically, to create this, I almost forgot to tell you how to do that. To create this, I just used the same size as the white that's on the inside here. I always cut mine down by 1/4 of an inch on each side. So let's go over that. Our card ends up being 5.5 by 4 1/4. So my white panel on the inside is 5 1/4 by 4. Okay, so I cut each measurement of my base card down by 1/4 of an inch. So I cut the exact same thing. I cut this designer series paper to be that exact same size, 5 1/4 by 4. Then I found my center point, which is at 2 inches, and I just cut to each corner. That's it. And that creates these pieces that fit perfectly within these sizes. All right, so we'll go ahead and put this one down. I think I'm going to run into that same situation. So I think I'm going to just straight ahead go and put a little bit of liquid glue at those corners. If I can get it to come out. There we go. So just a little bit at the corners just to make sure they're not going to pop up. I could have taken my adhesive right to the edge and just flipped it back on itself. But. All right, and then go ahead and place that down. And you'll just have a very thin border of your black around it. Okay, so there we go. Isn't that cool? Such a cool card. I just love that. And let's do the final decorating. So same thing with this butterfly. I'm going to just kind of get the wings going up and then curled back. Just do that gently. And he's going to go down up here. You just have to be careful that his wing isn't going off the edge. I think I actually want him a little bit more on an angle. And we also have this piece. Now I've already glued mine together, but go ahead and add your sentiment piece to that black piece of cardstock. And I think I want this down here. So I think it's going to be fine right there. So I'm going to try and get it up there, but not over the edge. Okay. Use some tear tape for his body and a little bit of dimensionals on his wing. And if you got a little bit of extra, you can just kind of pull it back so that you don't have any adhesive sticking out. Otherwise it wants to pick up everything. Okay, and my dimensionals. Go put 2 on the wings, on each wing. Take those backings off. Maybe. Some of them come off really fast and some don't. Okay, so up in the corner. Oh, I also need to make sure that that wing is that. I think I might have to do some surgery. Okay, there he is. And there is that. I think I will have a little bit, this one dimensional is, see how I have them too far over? I need to remove that. Let me just go in here. Okay. So I will only have the one dimensional on that wing. Because the other one would have been in the wrong spot. Okay, and now I want to put my sentiment piece down on the bottom. I'm just going to put some adhesive just in the center because the edges are going to be off the front part of that card, which was the idea. I wanted that look. So I think right there. So I think that's really pretty. And then we're going to do this ribbon technique. So what I want to do is I want to just get these. I'm basically looking for something that's just really pretty and flowy from this butterfly. So I'm going to be using glue dots. I'm going to start with this yellow one. And I'm not going to worry about how long it is. And so I'm going to put one on the back, but then I also want one on the inside because I want to be able to hold it down flat. I'm just going to pick that one up there, okay? So let's see, fold it down flat and then put it into the body right like so, okay? And then I'm going to do the same thing with this black and white twine. I might only be able to use one. So what I'm going to do is I'm putting one side of it into the glue dot and the other part into the other half of the glue dot. Okay, and then this one's going to go right on top of the yellow. And then we're going to hide all of that by making a bow with this sheer ribbon. So we're going to go ahead and just tie a bow. So get that bow started, then hold the center and pull on those legs so until you can get the bow in the size that you like. And sometimes you have to kind of maneuver it around a little bit. Okay, that's about the size. And then just kind of twist that a little bit. And then I'm going to, I want those legs to kind of stay together just so you get all this kind of all flowing. It's kind of like the butterflies flying. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put a couple of glue dots on the back of this bow. And I'm going to need something on, I think on the legs to try and keep it where I want it to be. And get this unstuck from me. Okay, just let me get I'm just going to put my head in the camera here a little bit just so I can get this tacked onto the top of where those met. It's the nice thing about glue dots, right? You can kind of make things do what you want it to do. So I'm going to pick up one more glue dot with my take your pick tool just because it's easier to deal with. It's a nice way to kind of get in there, and I want to keep the legs of this ribbon coming down pretty straight, not kind of like flying out. So there's what I'm going for. And then what I'm going to do is come in here with a good pair of scissors, if I can find them. And normally I like to cut my ribbons like on an angle. I'm going to actually cut these on a really, almost a very dramatic angle, just to help it look more straight and long and thin. Okay? So if you can see that, just cutting that on a dramatic angle, you might be able to see it more with the yellow. And the same thing over here. And then as far as the this twine, you just want to kind of make sure it's just the right length. Right about there. Okay, and then it's all done. I think it's just really pretty. You know, it's, yeah, the ribbon does get in the way of this word. You can tuck it behind if you prefer, or if you just don't like that look at all. I don't mind it. I don't need to see the words as soon as you open up a card. But if you don't like that, you can also put that inside the card. It would be really pretty right down here across these pieces. So that's another option for you. But I just really liked that whole idea of getting some ribbon on there and making it look super pretty. So I hope you enjoyed that one, and thank you for joining me in my class by mail this month.